Hey, Reverend Tony here, and I've got a spiritual challenge for you for the month of November on the theme of repair. If you think you're up for the challenge, stick around. Before I get into this month's challenge, just a quick reminder that if you haven't done so already, now is a great time to subscribe to the channel, to like the video, to share it with others. All that stuff helps me out a lot. Thank you very much. Before I jump into this month's challenge, you may notice that my facial hair is a little different from the last time you've seen me on one of these videos. That's because I needed my facial hair to look a certain way for my Halloween costume this year. Be curious, not judgmental. This month's spiritual theme is repair. And my spiritual challenge for you this month is to do a mending meditation. The mending meditation has 3 parts. Part 1 is about mending something physical, real, a material object. Part 2 is about mending something about yourself. Part 3 is about mending something in the world. The first part of the meditation, mending or repairing something physical, some material object, could be many different things depending on who you are and what your skills are and what your aptitudes are. This could be something like making a repair to an air conditioner or fixing something on your car that needs fixing. It might be something like mending a sock or putting a patch on a pair of jeans. It could be something like replacing the batteries in a remote control for your television. Something that needs to be repaired, fixed, mended. Lots of things that we have and surround ourselves with from time to time need a little fixing up, a little repairing, a little mending. While you make this repair, while you fix something, while you repair it, do it as a meditation. Be present to it. Do the dishes to do the dishes. Sweep the floor to sweep the floor. Carry the water to carry the water. Whatever you're doing, make it a meditation. Be present. Don't be thinking about something else. Don't be wondering why you've been asked to do this crazy meditation. Just do the mending, do the repair. What do the parts or pieces of the object feel like? What do they do? How much do you know about it? Did you need to watch a YouTube video in order to find out how to do the repair? Did you need to learn something in order to do the repair? Did you only attempt something that you really knew well? Whatever your experience is with it, note it. Note how you feel. Was it anxious to begin trying to fix something and didn't know if you could do it? Was it something you gave very little thought to because it's become something that's routine for you? If that's the case, maybe try another mending meditation of a material object that's a little bit more of a challenge. But through the whole thing, pay attention. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are your bodily sensations? What are your emotional sensations as you're doing the mending and the repair? The second part of the meditation is to mend something about yourself. None of us are perfect. From time to time, we all need fixing up, mending, and repairing. Perfectly okay. It's part of being human. Perhaps something that needs mending in you is physical. Might be related to an injury or illness. Might be related to an accident you've had, like I had a car accident this past summer, and that took a lot of physical mending. What might need mending within you is something emotional. Perhaps you've been wanting to go to counseling to talk about something or to get some help with something. Remember that asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. So if there's something about yourself you'd like to work on, improve, repair, fix up a little bit, maybe it's okay to talk to somebody. And remember, just because we need a little mending and fixing up doesn't mean we are broken or there's something wrong with us. We all need a little fixing up once in a while. It's just part of being human. And it's okay to go to that place and say, hey, I need a little help. Perhaps the mending of yourself has to do with something spiritual. Maybe it's time to take up a spiritual practice. Maybe it's time to try going back to a faith community. Maybe it's time to go for a walk in the woods. Maybe it's time to spend some time with friends. Maybe your spiritual life needs a little attending to, a little fixing up. Maybe there's a practice you used to have that you've let go and you could take it up again. Maybe you used to do yoga or Tai Chi and you let it go and you've been thinking, hey, that could be back in my life. That might help. You could do that. Maybe you'd like to have a chat with me about something that's going on spiritually or about something you've thought of. Anything that you think is part of your heart, your core values, the way you see beauty in the world, the way you experience love and your deepest connections to things, whatever the human spirit is or the soul is to you, mend something that needs a little fixing up in that area for yourself. Again, even though you need fixing up or a little mending, it doesn't mean you're broken or wrong or not good. We all need some fixing up and mending and patching up once in a while. When you mend yourself, give yourself a little fix up, a little repair, a little check-in, a little tune-up, do it as a meditation. Pay attention to what you're feeling and thinking, what the experience was like doing that mending. I think we could all use to pay a little attention to how we care for ourselves, body, mind, and spirit. So make it a meditation. The third part of the meditation is to repair the world. There's a phrase in Hebrew, tikkun olam, which means repair the world. And this has been a phrase since maybe the middle of the 20th century in a lot of Jewish circles that means doing social justice work, repairing some of the things in our world, our society that needs fixing. And this can be something as simple as practicing loving kindness towards your friends and family and neighbors. Maybe that needs a little shoring up. It might be something like working for a justice issue, something like hunger or homelessness or reproductive rights or LGBTQ issues. There are many, many things and many, many causes that need your time and attention. Do a little bit, something that you can do, that calls to you, that reaches out to you to be involved with in some way. Do something that mends the world, repairs the world, makes the world a little bit better of a place from what it was. Whatever works for you is a great way to be involved. And it can be something really small, or it could be a major involvement and investment of some time and energy. However that will work out in your life. Again, make it a meditation. Journal through the experience, take some notes, sit with it, and think, how am I feeling? What am I thinking about? What are the sensations in my body, in my spirit, in my mind? How is this affecting me? How is it affecting others? Maybe how is it affecting the world? Repairing the world literally with our environmental crisis is a very worthy piece of mending to work on. But take note, pay attention, and you will have an experience of paying attention to some mending of a physical or material object, a mending of yourself, and a mending of the world. What are the commonalities in all three kinds of mending? What are the differences? How might this idea of mending touch your heart a little more deeply? I first did this mending meditation a number of years ago when I went on a retreat for Unitarian Universalist Christians. And one of the little workshops I took at this retreat was on the spirituality of mending with the Reverend Laura Everett, who is the executive director of the Massachusetts Council of Churches. Writing about mending as a spiritual practice, Reverend Laura Everett says, "We learn to look for the places that need repair. We discover holes at the elbows and fraying at the cuffs. We see stress at the seams. We notice the places of friction and instability often need the most repairs. Sometimes we find that the garment was not well created to begin with and thus prone to tearing. We learn to look carefully and ask, is this worth fixing? I find myself asking this often about my neighborhood, my city, my church, and my country. And in this workshop, she had us quite literally learn how to darn socks, to mend a sock. And she said that the metaphors of mending in terms of the spiritual life are rich and full and tactile, and they really are deep. And it was a fantastic retreat session because it made a lot of connections with your spirit and being human and living in this world. And one of the things she brought out was the fact that in our culture, we've lost the art of mending. We no longer darn socks when they rip. We no longer put patches on clothes. We no longer re-sew things and make them last. We toss them out. We're a throwaway culture, and we create lots of trash, and we create lots of garbage, and we don't deal with things like they matter anymore. And one of the things she said that's really stuck with me, and I pass on to you, and why I offer you this mending meditation, is that things are worth mending because they're valuable in and of themselves, just like you and me. We are valuable and worth fixing and tuning up and working on. If something's worth mending, it has lots of value. It might be a practical value, like a sock will warm your foot and you don't have to buy a new pair. And it's perfectly okay. We think that if everything isn't perfect and looking sharp and brand new, including ourselves, that it's no good or not as good anymore. And that's not true. So I hope that the mending meditation takes you through this experience of seeing something physical in your world that might be able to be repaired instead of thrown away. That there's something in you that you can fix or make better, that you're worth tuning up and making as good as you possibly can. And that there's something about the world that might break your heart, but there's always a way to do a little bit, do your part to mend it, repair it, make it a little more whole. And that's what the mending meditation is about. Can we make everything, the things around us, ourselves, the world, a little more whole, a little more holy? Because we are worth it. We are worth mending. You, me, and our wonderful world that we inhabit together. As always, I would love to hear how you did with this challenge if you choose to take it up. Till next time, go in peace. Check out my website and blog at tonylorenzen.com for even more resources that will open your mind, touch your heart, and inspire your spirit.